everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Lilo and Stitch. Now, as you know, Lilo and Stitch was a 2002 science fiction comedy drama film and was directed by Chris Zanders, who originally wanted to do Stitch as a kind of storybook that didn't get around with the authors, but eventually became a Disney film. And the premise of the film is meant to be about Stitch, who is meant to be a illegal genetic experiment that was created by Dr. Jumba Jukiba, and by the Grand Councilwoman's decision, tries to exile him. But of course, something goes wrong that leads to Stitch crash landing in Hawaii, and of course does get adopted by a young girl, Lilo, and her older sister, Nani. So, throughout the movie, we do see Stitch at first becoming, kind of dangerous, kind of destroying things in sight, but later on you do see him learn things about family, also about love, acceptance, and trying to find where he truly belongs. And Lilo, you can tell, is a bit of an outcast, because you can tell that Myrtle, the popular girl at the Halloween school, kind of sees her as crazy, and you can tell she wants to be accepted. And there are impliements that, yeah, she does feel a bit like an outcast. For example, when she does feed a fish called Pudge peanut butter sandwiches, it's heavily implied that she does this to kind of, believe to please the gods, to kind of, after what happened to her parents during a rainstorm. And when she does take pictures of people by the beach, it's a way of her keeping that memory alive of her parents. And you can tell Nani does try to, keep everything together while having to deal with the social worker, Cobra Bubbles. And you can tell Cobra does kind of show some concern, some care about Lilo, as well as does feel bad for Nani. And also as well, when you kind of got Dr. Jumba Jukiba being trying to capture Stitch with Prickly, you can tell Jumba does kind of see some signs of Stitch basically learning to become more different. And you can tell Jumba isn't really a bad guy, he just wants to, prove to people he can create these experiments. And pretty much throughout the movie, you kind of realize that if you were someone like Lilo who had a broken family, you could kind of sympathize it with as well, because I think my family got broken when I was 16, so I used to live with my mum, but primarily lived with my dad. So basically building a new family for myself, with my younger sister Tilly from my dad's side, and mainly with my sister being a bit more distant now. So that I could kind of relate to. And pretty much when looking at Hawaii, the areas, the surroundings, ever around it, it makes you feel like you want to be to go into Hawaii and experience it. And when you listen to the music in the film, it makes you appreciate it more. And also, when you've got the songs from Elvis, these were songs you'd probably listen to in the car by your family, or watch the movies on TV. It really kind of gives you that sort of remembrance. And I know there were some deleted scenes that just didn't get off the ground, like Pudge the fish dying, which I think would have been a bit too dark. For example, Stitch gas leaking the house, and the fight between him and Jumba would have been much different. I can kind of understand the changes, as well as Stitch hijacking a plane, which makes sense. And I would say, in the film, no one's really a villain, because they're mainly doing their job. I do feel the Grand Councilwoman is quick to pass the blame, and not really see how dangerous Stitch is. And I kind of feel Gantu is supposed to do his job, and yeah, this does become a bit of her own downfall. And I also know that there had been like 3 other Stitch movies, Stitch the movie, that was meant to be a pilot to the TV show, as well as Stitch 2, Stitch Has a Glitch, that is implied to take place a few months after the first film, and Lilo and Stitch, that was supposed to be a conclusion after the TV series. And when you've got the TV series, it's basically Transformers Armada. And I would say the movie definitely hits its mark. It knows how to tell a story about being accepted, finding your true place, and being part of a family, either broken or not. So I think the movie definitely deserves a good thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.